15-year HB resident, I'm here to speak out against both the plaque and the current city council. As the community made clear at the Library Commission meeting last Tuesday, everyone is in favor of a plaque to celebrate the library, but the vast majority are against including a MAGA acrostic. Okay? Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get the heck. Get out.
Barbara Richardson. On agenda item 25-102, I strongly oppose the installation of the MAGA library plaque on Central Library. The Central Library is nonpartisan. The proposed plaque is divisive and goes against the library's policy of having no religious or political signage. On items 25-087 and 25-126, the most financially responsible action to take is to accept both library petitions as written. This would save the city money from election costs and lawsuits. On item 25-017, I strongly oppose having the Symphony of Flowers held in Central Park. Please find another venue for this laser light show. Leave our park and wildlife alone. No on the library plaque. No on Symphony of Flowers in Central Park. Yes on accepting the library petitions as written. Thank you.
Andy Einhorn. The library plaque with MAGA reference is a blatant political stunt and is disgraceful and completely inappropriate for our library's 50th anniversary. Huntington Beach deserves better leadership and not culture wars. The absurd Central Light show is reckless, disruptive to wildlife, and not necessary. You'd rather build barriers on public parks for this show and exploit residents with a $35 ticket and a $15 parking fee for a 15 to 30-minute show. Your revenue projections are a sham. Your previous attack on library petitioners is irresponsible, and the air show deal is an overt misuse of public funds. Finally, you have an obsession for taxpayer-funded litigation, all the while pretending to be the smartest people in the room. Spoiler alert, you're not.
Paula Schaefer, Huntington Beach resident. My comments will be brief regarding the library plaque. Your proposed plaque does not commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Central Library building as much as it memorializes your allegiance to a political ideology. Follow the example of your predecessors and design an appropriate plaque. Regarding the ballot measures, adopt the ordinances that were proposed and which each received over 16,000 registered voter signatures. In adopting these petitions this evening, you will be saving the city a lot of money. I'd like to point out that any attempt to blame the expenditure of funds on the proponents of these petitions ignores the majority city council members who had more than one opportunity to approve the ordinances already. They choose not to, and as a result, funds must be spent to acknowledge that the many volunteers were successful in their efforts to obtain the necessary signatures. Do the right thing, approve the proposed ordinances tonight. Regarding the Symphony of Flowers event, as proposed, I believe that moving forward on this would
Thank you, ma'am.
Drop it. Nobody wants it.
Good evening, I'm Mark Noren. I think we can all agree libraries are meant to be educational, inclusive, and welcoming, not divisive, definitely not political. If this plaque is approved in its current form, I strongly believe it will be a source of continuing angst for a great many of our wonderful residents. I believe anybody who goes into public service tries to make things better. I'm just trying to understand how this plaque makes things better. Isn't there a more appropriate acronym? Something more library appropriate, more learning appropriate? In fact, why not learn? Life educates always, renew nobly. I would invite you to consider that word noble, review, and please reconsider. If you truly believe this is the only choice, then vote to approve. If, on the other hand, you have even minor doubts, then you must vote for a redesign. Mr. Burns, New Year's Day, Surf City Splash. A neighbor of yours and I were down there playing our ukuleles at Zach's by the pier, and you said something that stuck with me. Enjoy today, but plan for tomorrow. True words, well spoke. Dang it.
Don McGee, 24-year resident of Huntington Beach. I want to speak in support of the new plaque for the HB Central Library. It's 50th anniversary. For years now, we've been subject to sexual proclivity flags and for deviant sexual ideologies being indoctrinating our kids. And now we have a semblance of sanity, and sanity is prevailing. So I want to thank the City Council for that. I also want to speak in support of the Symphony of Flowers. The proposal will decrease the deficit and bring much needed business and exposure to our city. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't use the city's assets to generate much needed revenue in lieu of raising taxes. So I just want to thank you for that. Also, I want to support it, and I want you to vote in the affirmative. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hi, Council, Mayor. Thank you for your time tonight. My name's Urson Russell. I'm stepping back. I'm a little confused because I thought this was a city council meeting. It kind of seems like a therapy session for like a labor union or something with all the chatter and the applause going on. I don't know what's happening. People seem to have lost their way. Make America great again. That's something contentious, but that's not actually what I wanted to talk about. I didn't even know this whole thing was going on tonight. I want to thank you all for fighting for everyone for elections and setting an example in this county. You guys are really helping to pave the way for what the rest of the citizens and the city councils need to do in this county to show our county and our state government why elections should be handled locally with local control instead of centralized control. The ballot measure you guys proposed last election in the primary passed by a far majority, showing that the citizens here have common sense and want to actually have local control of their elections. ID in our elections, that's not a contentious subject, except for it seems like some people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Burns, Mayor Pro Tem McEwen. My name is, and other council members. My name is Brian Thenis. I'm a longtime resident of the city of Huntington Beach, and I'm here in favor of item 20, the 50th anniversary plaque for the library. I think it represents a monumental moment for the city, for the library, for the city, and for the country. And I think it's a good idea to put it on a plaque. It's an important time for us. And I thank all of you for stepping up and doing the hard work that you've been doing to try to change things here. I'm noticing a big difference. I'm seeing a lot of changes. I know a lot of people don't like what they're hearing about this plaque, but it's a plaque. It can be taken down. It's not a five-story monument, not a five-story giant building that the prior 3 council members wanted to vote for in one meeting that would change the landscape of the city forever. You could never undo that. And they just said, oh, approve, boom.
All right, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Mina Lamara, and I'd like to start by saying when I moved to Huntington Beach, one of the first things that I noticed, well, I'd like to say vibe, and my mom makes fun of me for saying vibe. So the thing I noticed about Huntington was the energy of Huntington. It was so alive and so infectious, and it made me feel like it was such a community feeling, even though Huntington's such a big city. I felt so included. And something that really exemplifies that is our library. It's big and it's beautiful, and it offers so many different opportunities to all the different citizens of Huntington. And making a political plaque the centerfold of the anniversary of such an amazing place is not appropriate for what the library stands for. As a citizen of Huntington Beach, proudly, as of 3 years now, which isn't very long, but still, it has given me enough time to understand the amazingness of Huntington. I say that this plaque is a $7,000 symbol of hypocrisy, because with all due respect, city council members, you're the ones who tried to privatize our library, and now you're trying to put your names on a plaque that celebrates its 50-year anniversary. As a person with a disability, as a woman, but most importantly, as a citizen of Huntington Beach, I am not in favor of this plaque. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
One thing I noticed a lot in the campaign trail from all of our city councilors, especially you, Chad, was a desire to unite the people of Huntington Beach behind a city council they could be proud of. And yet we see here a room fully divided on a project that should never have gathered this much attention because of a city council that tries to inject national politics into city government. I don't think there has ever been a reaction of this magnitude in any city in response to a library plaque. When I voted in November, I noticed that unlike with candidates for state assembly and Congress, congressional seats, there was neither a D nor an R next to any of the names on the candidates for city council. And I believe that is because when you are sitting in those seats, your duty is to serve every citizen of this city and not only the ones who align with you politically. I urge you to reject the plaque in its current design and language, as a vote approving this plaque would be a conscious vote to instill division in our city, and I urge you to uphold your campaign promises and focus instead on projects that make a positive impact and unite the people and reputation of Huntington Beach. And lastly, the decorum of the public in these meetings is a direct response to your own behavior, so if you're unhappy with the decorum in these meetings, you should lead by example and do things that are universally popular. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Kelly Lago Marcino, a 10-year resident of Orange County. My family and I chose to buy a home in Huntington Beach, right across from Central Park. I'm highly opposed to the MAGA sign as a representation of the community. We spend weekly we are at the library. We ride our bikes daily through the park. It is meant to be an inclusive learning environment, not a political front. So I would ask that you guys truly reconsider and make this an inclusive community with friends from either side of the political track. It's just not the place to show politics. So I'm opposed. Thank you for having me.
Next speaker, please.
Hi there. What does MAGA mean to you? I think it's called Make America Gilded Again. The MAGA folks are giddy with thousands of federal workers losing their jobs, including veterans who gave their lives for us. Worse yet, Musk's minions are burrowing into the IRS, burrowing into the Social Security Administration, going through our private data, Social Security numbers, medical records, employment records. These are not accountants. These are not auditors. These are hackers with no background checks. They have access to all your stuff in Huntington Beach and the whole damn nation. So if you want your plaque and your name's on the plaque, put your names on it, put your social securities on it, put your address on it, put your medical records on it, and everything else that can be transferred to the dark web. Make America Gilded Age. Thank you.
My name is Russell Neal, and I live in Huntington Beach. Look, I'm fine with this library plaque, but I am also amused at the expressions of dismay over its political content from people for whom everything is political. As to the petitions, while pretending to be about threats of book banning and library privatization, neither of which exist, we all know the actual motive behind these two disingenuous petitions is a strange obsession with using our library to push adult sexual material on minors.
Please let him speak.
We all know. I commend this council for its defense of our children and urge you not to cave to these petitions, but to fight them tooth and nail. Thank you.
Mayor Pat Burns and the city council members, I was listening to some of the comments earlier, and they're talking about facts. So I want to let everyone know that MAGA, Make America Great Again, is going to be looked at, and history is going to look kindly as far as what MAGA represented. If you look at the last 3 weeks, the war with Ukraine is going to be finished. The war in Israel is going to be finished with Hamas. The hostages have been let go. The borders are being shut down. We're at a 98% low. In fact, this is the lowest amount of illegal immigrants ever coming across the border, and that's because of a tough MAGA support that President Trump has put in place. Also, listen, when we look at what's going on with Mexico and Canada, we have 10,000 troops at the border, on the southern border. We have the Canadians spending $1 billion to secure our borders, to stop the fentanyl and everything coming across. When you look across to Europe, the rest of the world only respects power and strength, and MAGA represents that, and that's why everyone's negotiating with the United States at this point.
Thank you very much. Please be quiet in the crowd. Respect the speakers. Next speaker, please.
Natalie Mosier, over 40-year resident and former council member. Tonight, distractions, political agendas, and special interests over residents. First, the library plaque. Partisan political propaganda that does nothing to honor the true history and purpose of the library. The good news, when cooler heads prevail, a plaque can be removed. And now, Symphony of Flowers, a months-long corporate takeover of our park. Our public parks are for residents, not revenue deals. This event will limit public access to our largest park, strain park maintenance and volunteers, increase car congestion, and disrupt wildlife. This is not just a bad deal for the park. It's a precedent-setting corporate takeover of public space. This is not responsible governance. This is divisive political posturing, waste, and privatization at the expense of Huntington Beach residents. Thank you.
That's some great information. If you could fill out a blue card, it'd be appreciated. Ma'am, next speaker.
Valentina Bankhead, 8-year resident. I am truly excited for the bronze plaque project that will mark 50 years of our library and appreciate everything the Library Commission and City Council does for Huntington Beach. Magical, like our beautiful Huntington Beach sunsets, as our wonderful library sits on an elegant position to catch the sunsets every single evening as families young and old can read enjoying the view. Alluring stories that are powerfully fascinating and so possibly inspiring, like our own hometown, as it takes us around the world to a place of our choosing. Galvanizing your thoughts to pull you into the path of the book you read and all its worldly stories. Adventurous. As you go from one book to the next, the adventures come together, thriving your mind to explore the universe or the cities, subjects, learning DIY, fulfilling experiences from the here and afar, right in your home, or special library by the waterfall. These words completely describe our beautiful library and the books that lead you on a journey you take when you are here in our small town of Huntington Beach. And thank you very much for that. I'm totally for it. And vote for Tony Strickland for Senate, February 25th.
Next speaker.
On April 5th, 1975, Huntington Central Library building was completed by architects Richard and Dion Neutra. The city has a practice of producing and placing plaques and is customary in honoring milestones at various city facilities and public spaces. To continue this practice, staff recommends placing a commemorative plaque alongside other plaques on the exterior of the building near the Central Library entrance. Before you this evening are 2 different renderings of plaques. The first was approved by the Community and Library Services Commission on February 11th, 2025. The second rendering was a second rendering recommended by Councilman Williams. And so this evening, Council has the opportunity to discuss approving the design that was approved by Community and Library Services Commission, considering the alternate plaque designed by Councilman Williams, or do not approve and as designed and produce alternate direction to staff.
Okay, I'm waiting for Gracie to come back. Oh, there she is. All right. All right, I'll let you want to discuss that.
So we took some of the recommendations made by some of the speakers. They didn't like the eagle, we changed the eagle. They didn't like the placement, we changed the placement. We enlarged commemorating 50 years, so I'm presenting this one for consideration as well to my fellow council members. It's over here. I don't know. I guess enlarge it.
Well, there.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Motion?
All right, I'll give you guys time to walk up to the screen and read it. It's right there.
Yeah, but.
All right,
Chad-
well, then you won't be
discussion.
offended.
Chad has statements.
Chad, go ahead.
All right, maybe I can try and read it for you guys. You still have the magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. And I would just really emphasize, that words have meaning. Words have meaning. So make America great again has meaning. There are some people that have difficulty with comprehension, and they don't understand the meaning of words. These are the same types of people that don't seem to understand what is a woman. The issue isn't with the meaning of the words. The issue, it seems, with some folks would be who said it. Because when Ronald Reagan said it, it was no problem. When Bill Clinton said the words, "Make America Great Again," it was no problem. It seems to not be an issue with the meaning of the words. It seems to be an issue for some with who said it.
Be quiet.
And there it is right there. That's the real issue. It's not the meaning of the words, and words have meaning. It's who said it. And if anything, I think this is just exemplary of, DTS, Donald Trump derangement syndrome is very real.
All right.
And so there's no doubt about it that we are living in a time that truly is the golden era. That is the bottom line of the plaque. We are in this golden era. We just hit stock market highs today. We are in financial affluence. We are in a time of law and order. And if you look at the bottom of the plaque, you'll notice some other words where people are not offended. It says, "Through hope and change." Nothing offensive about that, is there? Through hope and change. Who said that? Well, that was Obama. Through hope and change, our nation is built back better. Built back better. Who said that? That was Biden. There's no issue with through hope and change, our nation is built back better. And what have we entered into? The golden era. We are in the golden era now of making America great again. And for those that don't have comprehension issues with the words, the plaque is a good.
All right. We've had a
Another thing I'd like to add.
Go for it.
There was some concern about how taxpayer money
Chad,
was.
can you hold on? People, please be quiet. Let the speaker speak. You guys had your turn. Please, or leave. Go ahead. But please be quiet.
There's some concern about whether or not it was taxpayer money that was spent to make this plaque. So just so the public is aware, it's completely privately funded. We actually had to start turning down the donation. So the plaque is privately funded.
And also, due to threats of vandalism, tearing it out, all the threats online, we actually raised an extra $1,000 for a spotlight to protect the plaque. Okay, so there's a motion.
Okay, in a second. And so can we have the roll call?
First was McKeon, second was Strickland. Councilmember Twining.
Yes.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McKeon.
Yes.
Mayor Burns.
Aye.
Councilwoman Vandermark.
Yes.
Councilman Strickland.
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
Item passes 7-0.
Okay. Item number 21. Staff, please introduce the report.